7-year-old Susan and her family were traveling to Hawaii for Christmas. She couldn't wait to get there and enjoy the ocean. She was a little worried about being at the beach on Christmas though. Would it be the same warm, heartfelt holiday she and her family had always shared in the snowy mountains of Colorado? When the airplane landed, Susan was happy. She could see the deep blue ocean, and looked forward to feeling the sand between her toes. Her two sisters were excited too. 2-year-old Belle clapped her hands with joy. Jenna, her 12-year-old sister, had a great big smile on her face. Her parents were relieved to be away from their busy jobs. Everything was wonderful except Susan was still worried about spending Christmas in the sand. The hotel room was very nice. It was right by the beach, so the family wasted no time in going out to have fun. Susan loved jumping over the cool waves as they came in. It tickled her toes and made her laugh. Jenna had brought along her boogie board. She was out riding the waves. Belle played with the sand on the beautiful beach. She and her parents were making a sand castle. The next day the family took a jeep tour up into the mountains. The mountains were different than those in Colorado. It was almost Christmas and they had no snow. They were lush and green. The sun was shining brightly as they bounced up and down on the rough trails. The warm sun felt good even if it was almost Christmas. That afternoon they made their way down to the pier and went fishing. Susan caught a great big fish but threw it back in. Her dad caught 2 and threw them back as well. Then they huddled together on the rocky ledge near the pier and watched the sun set across the horizon. It lit the ocean in colors like purple, pink and gold. Susan had never seen anything more beautiful. When nightfall came, they made a big bonfire on the beach. Susan's mother had brought along graham crackers, chocolate and marshmallows, so they made s'mores. It was lots of fun, and when it was time to go, Belle cried. "Want to stay more?" she whimpered. Susan and Jenna would have loved to spend the night on the beach. It was Christmas Eve night and they wanted to see if Santa came to Hawaii like he did to Colorado. But it was late and it was time to go. "Can we do this again?" Susan begged. "Certainly," her father answered. "We certainly can, Susan." That night Susan laid in bed and thought about having Christmas in Hawaii. She was having a lot of fun, but in some ways, she missed the way Christmas was at home. She always made a snowman with her sisters on Christmas Day. They usually went out in the snow and played with new snow toys too. She listened and listened for Santa to come, but then she realized he couldn't. There was no chimney for him to come down. Susan fell asleep a little disappointed. She wished Santa would come to Hawaii, but it was just not going to happen. There was no snow and no chimney either. On Christmas morning, Susan awoke to a spread of Christmas presents that Santa had left under the potted palm tree. She was happily surprised. Belle squealed with joy. Jenna tore right into her presents and got a surfboard and a new bathing suit. Susan took her time opening the gifts. Carefully she unwrapped each present, being very careful not to tear the paper. "Rip it open," her big sister exclaimed, but Susan did not listen to her. She continued to open each one as slowly and carefully as she could. Inside the first box was a shovel and pail set in her favorite color, purple. The next gift was a brand new bathing suit just like the one she had seen at the gift shop and wanted so badly. The last present was the best one of all. It was a giant raft. "Yeah. Can I go play with it?" she asked. The family gathered their beach toys and went to the ocean for a fun day. "Hey, let's build a snowman," Jenna suggested. Together the entire family built the biggest, best snowman ever. "I guess the best snowmen are built out of sand," Susan giggled. Susan took off on her raft, while Jenna tried out her surfboard. Belle played in the wet, cool sand. The sun was beaming down and Susan thought how odd it was to be so warm on Christmas Day, but she didn't too much mind. She was having a blast. Christmas lunch was served at noon as always. Susan's mother brought a very fancy picnic to the beach. They had turkey sandwiches made with Christmas bread. They had fresh cranberries and even the traditional apple pie they enjoyed each Christmas. "This is fun," Susan announced. "Hey, look!" Jenna cried, pointing out to the ocean. Everyone looked and could not believe what they saw. It was Santa, surfing the waves. "Merry Christmas!" shouted little Belle, as she clapped her hands. Santa waved from afar and stood on one leg. Then he did some other fancy tricks as he shouted, "Merry Christmas to all, hope your Christmas was nice." The girls could not believe that Santa was actually at the beach. They had always seen pictures of him in the snow but never on the beach. Jenna thought about it for a while and then said to her family, "I think we should come back here every Christmas, and start a new family tradition. I have had a wonderful time." This Christmas was hot. Everyone laughed and edged the sand under their toes and the sun beaming down warmly upon them. "It really doesn't matter where we are for Christmas," Susan concluded. "Christmas is being together. It is in our hearts."